The following presentation of 21 The Podcast is intended for mature audiences. Viewer discretion is advised.
Prepare for launch in 3, 2, 1.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. So careless. Just whisper, baby. Oh, shit.
Yeah, you like that switch? Back up in this bitch!
Got fat all of a sudden.
Give me some goddamn horns! Yeah! Oh, yeah.
So careless.
That's all I fucking needed.
So careless.
Yeah, all the cameras are still the same.
On the beat.
Oh, you mean I'm number one.
Who's number one?
No, I'm number... No. 3, yeah. I'm number 3. So bring it to me in 21 The Motherfucking Podcast, and that's the place to be. I want to thank y'all for tuning in right now. If it's your first time here, make sure you scroll down and you click subscribe. And if it's not your first time here, I want to thank you for your continued support. Now, before we get into the show and introduce our great guests, I do want to give a quick shout out to my producer, Mr. Marcos Morales at Dirt City Studios. Now, one more time, don't forget to subscribe and a couple other things that we do during the show. 1, we take shots for fucking money. All you got to do is jump into that super chat. Anything over, Marcos, we haven't done this in a while. Turn on the music just a little bit. We haven't done this in a while, so I think we're going to start the shots off at $5. $5 for the first shot. I want to fucking open this bitch the fuck up. 2, I want to let you guys know a little bit about our sponsors, and that is Bovada and Steak. And all you got to do is go to 21thepodcast.com/win, and you can gamble like a degenerate like myself. Either cash and card or crypto. Crypto is Steak, cash and card is Bovada. Do what you will, win some money. Shit, man, I really haven't done this in a while. I kind of forget what else I'm supposed to talk about. I believe that's it. So what we are going to do now is go to our guests. And first we have Miss Sarah closing up her water bottle. I caught her at the wrong time. And then we got Mr. Corey over here. Now we're going to let them introduce themselves. Now, Corey, first thing I usually get my guests to do is introduce themselves to the camera. So look into this camera and tell me a little bit about yourself.
My name is Corey Trahan. I am I guess a director, songwriter, producer. That's sort of my thing. Also, full-time scientist. So that's me. So
that's fucking lit.
Well, there's probably more to it, but we'll stop at that. We can talk about it.
Oh yeah, we're gonna get into it. And
that's
Sarah,
right.
Look into your camera right there and tell me a little bit about yourself, please.
Hello, my name's Sarah Webb. I'm part of Horror Web Productions. I act. I play Scara, Damsel of the Doomed. I'm a horror host. I sing for the Immortals, and I'm a screenwriter for some of our upcoming films.
Very nice.
And
very
assistant
nice.
director, one of the ADs.
And an AD. There we go. So there's a lot of shit in both those introductions that we're gonna have to slowly dissect.
Just like peel apart.
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
a lot of shit. So okay, let's go first. Let's go down the production route. So Corey, tell me a little bit about what you guys do, because it's and I don't know if you even got into this, but how Marcos introduced you guys to me was Bat City Scaregrounds.
That's right. Mm-hmm.
And so I don't know if you guys even had mentioned that just yet, but it seems like that's a big part of the entire production part of shit. Like y'all have like a whole fucking horror set that y'all could just fuck around with.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, we're like a little horror family, horror family.
Yeah.
To be careful there.
Easy.
But so about 17 years ago, I started a theme park in West Texas, out in the Wild Wild West, that sort of blew up. It's called Nightmare on 19th Street, and Marcus's homeland out there, and that that place just kind of through the last 17 years, we became production artists out there, and it just did well. And the city of Lubbock in West Texas, we had people now driving from all over. And
that's what this is. This is a Lubbock love.
That's right.
Okay.
It blew the fuck up. And so, and then we learned a lot of film production, design, set production. And also I learned how to be a director, like a production director for those, 15 or 16 years that I was up there doing makeup effects, wardrobe, all of these things that are sort of a part of film. You know, right. I never really considered film. I was just too busy, running a startup company for those years and getting it to a level that I thought, that was a standard that we really wanted to get at, which is sort of this Universal Studios level of immersion and production. And so the opportunity came. It was doing so well to open up a second or a sister sort of theme park here in Austin. And that's what essentially was Bat City Scaregrounds. And the whole time we're building Bat City Scaregrounds, we're doing it with the knowledge and expertise we had gained from West Texas, from being out there in the desert and high winds and creating these killer, just horror sets that are fucking people up, by the thousands every year. And we took that knowledge and expertise and we came back here and we kicked Bat City Scaregrounds in the ass from the very beginning. Yeah. There was no learning curve really with our sets and design. I mean, we're building these things and then I started to really become passionate about film. I kind of already had that sort of passion, but while we were building Bat City, I was like, man, we really need to. We know, I have all these sort of talents, these directorial sort of talents and these production talents, and we have this great team. We really have everything we need to make some killer films. And so it sort of led naturally to film. Right. And then also leads over to pretty much pervasive in everything we do, whether it's our band, The Immortals, or whatever, So
and see now the band comes out. See, that's what I'm saying, bro. There's a lot to dissect in your introduction.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
Excuse me. So before we get to that, we're gonna play your first hand of blackjack. Now I'm sure you're gonna have to consult with Sarah over here,
okay,
just to make sure everything's all good.
All right,
Marcos, we good on the music? Just let that bitch play right there, bro. So
make it something smooth.
So before we even, I'm gonna give Marcos just a little bit of time.
Oh yeah. Faded.
So right before we started this shit, like the entire audio grid went down. It's a whole long story. So we're essentially having another shit show. If you're frequent to 21 the podcast, you know how that shit goes.
It's not that shit yet.
So Corey,
all right,
you do know the essence of blackjack?
The fundamentals, I believe.
Okay.
Yeah. So you just keep. I think
you want to get
man.
as close to 21 without going over, and you want to be closer
to
21 than I am, because I'm going to be the dealer in this situation.
Gotcha.
All right.
All right.
Cool.
Let's do it.
So your first card is a 2.
All right. Not good.
Not great.
Yeah.
And your second card is a 9,
so
you're looking at 11.
Actually, yeah.
And I'm showing an 8, so you can either hit or stay.
Hit.
There we go. Sarah, you agree with that? There we go. And you got a 9, so you're looking at 20.
Yeah.
Staying right there.
Mm-hmm.
And I got another 8, so I'm looking at 16. And this is going to be a 5
Bust.
right here. This is a 5 right here, bro. Easy.
Oh, all
and
right.
I show it Jack.
Beginner's luck.
So Corey won that first hand on 21 the motherfucking podcast. And we're playing the best out of 5. So first of 3 games.
All right.
And you got the first one. So
yeah. Killing it.
Can you tell me a little bit about how the original horror is like embedded in people? When I meet people that really fuck with horror films and just the whole genre, like it's embedded. Do you remember like where that initially started with you?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I don't remember any definitive moment. I just sort of know that growing up, it was a big part of my childhood. I know that in my house, my dad liked to fuck with me a lot. Like what he would do was he would take aluminum foil, and I would be 3 or 4 years old, like a little kid and shit. And he would put aluminum foil on he would put eyes out, and he would put aluminum foil on his fucking head, and he would chase me around the house screaming, "I am Iron Man," and this is like early 80s and shit. And I just remember there's one epic moment that I'll never forget, and it's just me curled up next to the toilet in the bathroom, and he's just screaming that shit at me. So we always had a pretty good sense of humor toward horrific elements in my house.
Right.
I mean, we grew up kind of poor Cajuns. And so you sort of have to grapple with things, of that nature. You to thicken your skin up to sort of push through that sort of lifestyle, you know. So I mean, when you're poor and stuff, you learn to live to sort of figure out how to get through the hard stuff pretty.
Yeah. Right.
So that was sort of, one of the earliest moments that I kind of realized, not that I was enjoying that moment, but when I realized that was going to be a part of us, of my life going forward. And then from that point on, I think just there's always that sort of element of mystery to horror, like death and these sort of things, what's going on. And I have this scientist side of me, this curiosity. So strangely enough, the scientist and the horror and that mystery behind like those sort of the unknown and shit kind of go hand in hand, I believe, mentally. But I grew up just watching horror movies, dude, and just doing shit like that. Just always having this weird sort of attraction to it,
So Sarah, that same question is going to go to you, but before we get there, because I am a little bit interested. When you talk about the unknown, but you are actually a scientist as well, what do you believe the afterlife is?
Well,
that was ominous.
Yeah, I mean, that's a whole fucking different podcast, really. But I had to say, like, as a scientist, of course, nothing is known for certain, right? But you can have your theories, or et cetera. But I do believe that we're just not capable of really understanding our brains. When you look at things like the electromagnetic spectrum, and you understand that we only see a certain part of that. And there's a whole spectrum outside that our senses, and you start to, at an early age, when I was an upcoming scientist, I started to dawn on me that our senses and perception and understanding is very limited. So for us to try to understand something like what happens when we die, or before the Big Bang, when time doesn't exist, how can you ask before if time doesn't exist?
Right.
There's no before if time. So you're already sort of stuck in these weird constraints of how we think about things,
Yeah.
And so I think it's a hard question because of that. It sort of exists outside of our perception. I know that sounds like a cop out, but
no, because we'll get back into it. Because I have a whole, like, I just really debate with myself on what it actually is and shit like that. So Sarah, bringing it back in to the existential. Not existential. No, death is existential.
I gotta say this before you ask that question. One of the measurable things we have is that energy can't be created or destroyed.
Right.
And it's the what animates our neural pathways is energy, and like that's got to carry some sort of resonance.
We're gonna get back into it, Marcos, for sure, because we remember we had like a
but
we
it's
had
measurable.
A pretty deep,
that was the end of it. That was the end.
Y'all are deep.
No, I'm telling you.
So deep, put her ass
Pause.
to sleep.
Pause.
Today was
Sarah,
a good
so while these guys chitter chatter, Sarah, what was your how is your horror upbringing? Like, what brings you into this realm?
I know exactly what it was. I was probably 6 or 7, and back in the day, my parents didn't believe in babysitters. So my brother was watching us, and he was only a couple of years older than me. He was 4 years older. And back then, they used to show Night of the Living Dead all the time on regular TV because they didn't, it wasn't copyrighted, so they could show it for free. There was, you didn't have to pay anybody. So all the channels were always showing that shit. So my parents are out. My brother was babysitting us, and that show was on, and so we decided to watch it. It's probably not good for a 6 or 7-year-old to watch it. And it scared the piss out of me. I literally pissed the bed that night. I was so scared. But I was also, like, it got me. Like, after that, I was just in love with that genre. And my dad also was a big Universal Monsters lover. So he would show me those, and he would show me the Abbott and Costello horror stuff. And so since I was a kid, I've always liked that. Just always.
So, right out of the hat, Corey, top horror film. It could be a couple if you need it to
top
be.
horror film. I definitely think my top horror film is probably House of a Thousand Corpses. It's probably top for me at this point. Marcus agrees. Yeah,
And
it just
Sarah?
has all the elements there, So
That's a real difficult question. Aside from my first Night of the Living Dead, which is, my favorite for sentimental reasons, I The Exorcist was another one that I watched that always had a hold on me. And then Texas Chainsaw Massacre has a special place in my heart.
Yeah.
Of recent films, I really liked Hereditary and I really like Barbarian recently.
Man, I still haven't seen Hereditary, and I know how good it is. I just know it's really good.
It's a goodie.
It's good. It's not for everyone, but it's a good one.
Yeah. No, it's definitely it's a different type of horror from what I understand.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't really have. What about you, Marcos? I don't really have a horror film that I really love.
I'll tell you 2 different stories right here. My intro.
I love how Marcos just. You know what? You
Don't ask me no
You give me the
questions.
mic. I'm
I'll
going to
tell you
give you
nobody.
a bunch of shit.
Nah, it's 2 quickies.
Go ahead.
2
No, go ahead.
quickies.
Vomit.
My intro to horror was The Stuff. When I'm a little kid, my parents would let me watch shit.
That's a good one.
I stayed the night at a friend's
Consumerism.
house, dude, and they like the zombie coming out of the wall in the basement.
Would you eat it? I would have eaten that stuff.
Oh fucking
It
A.
looked
Oh, no, wait,
delicious.
I'm mixing 2 movies. I'm mixing The
okay.
Gate and The Stuff. But
Okay.
yeah, The Stuff scared the shit out of me. When Chocolate Chip Charlie's fucking neck bursts open
Hell
and
yeah.
all the stuff comes out, I never noticed the cut to the fake head until like later when they show it, and I'm like, oh, that is so fake. Chocolate Chip Charlie's head was a doll. And then the first one that actually scared the fuck out of me, and I still hold high, is Event Horizon.
Oh.
That one scared the shit out of me.
One of my favorites too.
Shout out to Eddie. You remember when I was
shit.
talking about Eddie? You guys remember me telling you about Eddie?
Eddie,
Oh,
is in the chat
Eddie.
with the
Eddie's
shots.
Hi,
play,
Eddie.
play some music, Marcos. What?
Here. Hold on.
Eddie said, "Shut the fuck up."
Turn
and
down just a
do
little bit.
shot.
Yeah, Eddie tired of hearing your shit. Marcos.
That was the
sick.
end. Event Horizon, I watched on a
It's
little
it's
a
probably the
little
most
TV.
underrated horror sci-fi movie of all time. Event
Oh,
Horizon.
dude, I watched it on one of those little combos with the VCR built into the bottom of the TV in the dark in a corner, like me and my sisters sharing a little tiny screen.
When you're done telling your story, pour your shot.
And then I actually met the screenwriter. He did an event at the Austin School of Film. Shout out to them. Free shout out, Austin School of Film.
Just pour your shot.
But he was talking about how there was a director's cut that's never going to see the light of day because it was on print and nobody kept up with the print. And it's so, like, it's gone.
Oh, God.
There's a scarier
What?
director's cut that was rated X.
Oh, my
And they
God.
they had to cut it to an R.
That's terrible. That
And
it's
it's
gone.
it's gone. It was on a film print that
Is
wasn't
X
preserved.
worse than NC-17?
Yeah, it's
Oh,
all
yeah.
the way, bro. But it wasn't even for sex. Like, I'm sure there was tits in there, but
Damn, dude.
it wasn't. It was like so intense
Slaughter.
and gory and fucked up.
Warpath. Yeah.
Yeah, it has to be like really bad.
Bad. Yeah. It's wild.
Are you taking shots?
I don't think I'm gonna.
Nope.
partake.
Don't do it. No, you're
It's
right.
all good.
Good
How do we
idea.
do this? We just throw them up.
Cheers,
Salud,
Lord.
Eddie.
Cheers.
Cheers to Marcos.
Thank
Cheers
you, Ed.
To,
Cheers to Eddie.
Yeah. Woo! Damn. Oh, it's a Wednesday, man.
Yeah.
Humping on your way. Humping on your way.
Ah!
Hippity hump hump.
We're all right.
Going
Dude,
into
I
the
was
weekend.
so I wound up going to the Cowboys game for Thanksgiving right after I bought all the groceries to cook Thanksgiving dinner because I hit big on steak, and you can hit big on steak too if you go to 21thepodcast.com/win.
Big on steak.
With that being said, we just did our Thanksgiving dinner on Monday, and while we're cooking and shit, who I'm with is just like, hey, we should just take some fucking shots of whiskey. And it's like, it's 1 o'clock. Like, it's genuine daytime.
Yeah.
Like, I pretty much just woke up because it's like, this is my
Yeah.
fucking day off.
Right.
And we're like, we're taking shots. Man, bro, just how I did right there, like coughed and like almost fucking just wasted it all over there. That's how I felt. And this is all like right before I'm about to eat Thanksgiving dinner.
Oh God.
So it was just fucking horrible. But by the time I sat down to actually eat, I'm just looking over. I'm like, holy shit, I am drunk.
Trashed, yeah.
Like, yeah, it's
Yeah.
like it's like 4 o'clock in the afternoon. But
And what's bullshit
yeah.
too is, there's this myth that you can just eat and sober up. I mean,
Nah, yeah.
that's not really how it works. you
Nah.
know. It takes some number of hours for the food to kind of work
Yeah,
its way.
to really metabolize.
You ain't
and-
stopping by a fucking Whataburger and sobering up on the way home.
No,
That's
it
not
doesn't.
exactly.
No, it doesn't help.
Yeah.
I mean, it helps your more of your peace of mind.
Maybe
It's
maybe a
the
placebo effect.
Yeah,
The taquitos make everything better.
the taquitos are
Taquito
fucking
placebo.
great. But so what are you a scientist in specifically, Corey?
I have a
Farts.
PhD in quantum physics and farts.
Farts.
And farts, yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. It's a superposition of both.
So what do you
stinky
think
and
of
not
like
stinky.
typically I don't go into shit jokes, but well, like what's the like
We
the-
go high, we
You
go
have a
low.
standard. You have a standard.
Yeah, no, we have a protocol when it gets to this point.
You have a shit call.
Yeah, I should have called. So what's like the deal with wet farts?
Just in general,
Yeah,
with me, or just in general.
you personally.
You're the
You personally.
scientist.
Yeah, you're the scientist. You tell me.
Oh, you want to know the
You're the
the,
fartologist.
the biological mechanics of
Yeah,
wet farts.
of your wet farts.
Of my wet farts?
Mm-hmm.
You mean
How
when
do
I make
you
the
do it?
noise, like the noise? Or-
No. No, this is like cheeks clapping.
yeah. I think in Texas it's easier to do a wet fart because you always got what I call that bourgeoisie kicking or that ass sweat. You know, you gotta
So
have
it just kind of mixes.
it's
in.
got to be like an Amazon moisty environment. You know, yeah, that's the wetness.
With that, we're going to your second hand of blackjack. You ready for that, Marcos?
Hold on. All right, here we go.
Oh, jeez.
Oh no! Oh, look what I did.
Was that mine?
Look what I did. Hold on. No.
Oh, Marcos is just taking his sweet ass time over there. He's like, I got to tell these couple stories. I can't actually do the
Don't give
button
me
pushing.
no mic. Don't give me no mic.
Ready?
Yep.
And your first card is a 7.
7.
Board.
That's really shitty.
Debatable.
Oh.
If you have a 9,
that's
then
a
yes,
tough one.
because you got 16, and I'm showing a jack.
Oh yeah, I'm fucked, dude. I'm gonna go ahead and hit me again.
You sure?
We're gonna play. Yeah.
We're gonna play it through, huh?
I'm a risk. I like to risk.
All right, let's do it. And you got an ace, so you're looking at 17.
Oh, shit. We'll stick there.
Staying right there.
I don't think you got a face.
But I got a 6.
Oh, okay.
That was a strong hit. That was a strong hit. But that one's stronger.
Oh,
With 20.
one. Yeah, all right.
So it's 1-1.
Dang.
Now, can we be serious about what kind of scientist you are?
Yeah. I had a PhD in quantum physics. So technically, I am a quantum physicist. But most of the work I do is essentially like advanced computational engineering.
Right.
And, so physics on a computer.
Yeah, dealing more with like artificial intelligence and shit like that.
I do some of that, right? And then I also nowadays work with quantum computers and shit too. So
give me just like a 2-sentence explanation of what quantum physics is.
So quantum means tiny, and what it is essentially, man. If you have a huge microscope and you start getting looking deeper and deeper and smaller into reality, and you start to see atoms and these very tiny particles, what you find out is they don't behave the way if you throw a baseball or something, it sort of, gravity guides the baseball and it creates a trajectory and this sort of thing. And so you can sort of write out an equation for that and stuff, and that's the reality that we live in, you and me, and sometimes Marcus. I don't know what reality he's in half the fucking time, but that's sort of that. But if you get smaller and smaller, you find out that that's not really what reality is. In fact, it's really bizarre, and there's not a real separation between something that's local, like you sitting there, I can touch you, and something that's spread out.
Oh, he likes to be touched.
I don't consent.
That's right. And something like a wave that's sort
Marcos
of all
almost
over.
put that whole mic in his mouth whenever he said that. Anyway.
Touch him.
We know what he's doing with this podcast later. Yeah. It's been a minute.
I keep wondering why his mic's just sopping wet every time I fucking shut it down. Anyways, continue.
So you have this what's called wave particle duality, where everything becomes non-local and everything depends sort of on everything else, and it's this very weird and bizarre world that reality is fundamentally exist at, and we don't see that. We see some like version of that, but it's not really what the world and the reality is, So that's a very high level abstract interpretation of what I do. What I do is pretty
I would
practical.
explain it as the longest 2 sentences I've ever heard.
There's that too.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's that too.
But two though,
Quantify it if you can. Quantify it.
You're basically saying that you're breaking it down to the bare minimum, in which you can also manipulate.
Yeah. So, well, yeah. I mean, so if you in quantum computers, for example, you're sort of using those really small systems in that weird reality, and you're manipulating that weird reality in a way that gets you some benefit computationally. You know. So yeah.
Like,
I mean,
for example.
Well, in the quantum world, and you know, this is a lot to get into it for a podcast, but in the quantum world, you know, until you actually observe, like if you know, there's the Schrodinger's cat thing where there's a cat in the box and there's a radioactive atom, and the story is after so much time, you know, there's a 50% chance it will kill the cat, and there's a 50% chance it won't, and unless you observe it. In our world, we would say that cat is either dead or alive, one or the other. It exists in one of the other states. But in the quantum world, it's saying that there are actually multiple universes, one in which the cat is alive and one in which the cat is dead. And both of them are equally as existent. Both of them exist. And when we look at it, that's whenever we're choosing which universe to go down. And so you can actually, it sounds really bizarre, and if listening to me, you guys are probably like,
love it.
Why the fuck would you think that? But there are very experimentally sort of proven reasons why we realize that is in fact what happens.
Yeah.
It is all these different possibilities exist as
Rick and Morty fan?
Yeah.
Eddie's back in there.
Oh shit, Eddie's bored. Eddie's bored.
Eddie.
Shouts to fucking Eddie, man.
Damn, Eddie.
Damn,
I just
Eddie
wanted
bought
to
us
say-
another fucking shot.
What was the?
Oh, here goes Marco.
That was the experiment where the guy
Fuck
observed the protons getting fired out and landing in a different spot. It was immeasurable when they weren't observing, and then when they observed it,
That's
it was
right.
the same fucking setup, and it landed somewhere else only because
It's called the double slit diffraction experiment.
yeah.
But there's like a devil's like waterfall or something like that. Have y'all seen that? To where the water splits off into two ways, and if one just goes with the river and the other falls in this hole, and they have no idea where it goes.
I've never seen that.
Y'all never
no.
heard of that? This is like a
Sounds
real
dope,
fucking
though.
thing. No, it's fucking crazy. They've dropped like dye. They've dropped like little fucking rubber duckies in there, like ping pong ball. They can't find where it goes.
Yeah, weird.
Yeah, but
Weird.
I think it's in that type of realm of shit.
Yeah.
To where it's like
It's far out.
I think
dude.
we owe Eddie a shot though.
Shots.
yeah. Eddie says he doesn't want to see Marco's TTs no more.
Whoa!
He wants to see my atoms.
He wants to see your Adam.
He wants to see your booty hole.
Oh man, I would
covered
hate
under some fat.
I would hate for it to show up on 21 the podcast, but for Eddie, I feel like Marcos has to show his butthole.
I feel like that he
For
has
Eddie.
a clean.
Eddie's racking up a tab. Like we're about to get there, Eddie.
He has
You're
both
about
a
to hit the
clean
price.
and a dirty butthole until you observe it, and then it
Right.
collapses to one or the other. You know.
Yeah.
But right
Shower
now,
or
it's
not?
both clean and dirty.
This is what you get from a fart PhD.
Yeah, that's right.
PhD stands for fart D.
We call him Dr.
Dude. Yeah.
All right, Eddie,
All right, Eddie, you motherfucker.
you sandbagging son of a bitch. Cheers to everybody.
Hey, prices go up after this. I just gotta say,
Yeah, prices go up. $20 a shot after this.
Bang.
salute.
You saw how good I took that shot that time?
That was good, man.
I
He's
fucking
your
did
primed.
great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You gotta prime that.
I needed a little bit of garage whiskey before I just really jumped into it. Okay, we'll get back to Rick and Morty. How do you feel the Ant-Man was?
I like the Ant-Man, and actually, they really took some. There's always, of course, some
Jargon,
liberty
things,
there,
yeah.
but they did base it somewhat on quantum theory
Yeah.
and stuff, and space-time fabric and foam, and
like the shit had to be right that they said, or else like people
Yeah.
would call them out.
yeah, I mean, it's a Marvel movie.
Exactly,
in the end,
it's a
but-
fucking Marvel
But
movie.
it is.
How did the
based-
Mobius strip play
Hey, turn
into
your
it for real?
motherfucking microphone down.
That's Marvel.
Just a little bit. You just jump in, and just go crazy.
I'm on board.
Just turn it down.
Are you
just a
talking
little
about
bit. Yeah,
strippers
you're on
again?
4.
You're talking
You're
about
on
strippers
4.
again.
No, we've never talked about strippers in here before.
Mobius strippers?
Mobius strippers.
What is Mobius?
I don't know. What is a Mobius?
See what I mean? That's how Iron Man found out how to break the fabric of time and space. He used a Mobius strip, and then they showed the animation of it, and then he broke the fabric of time and space. I just wanted to know if that was like a thing.
I don't know.
I'm going back through the whole shit of it, which is time consuming for one, but two, I'm noticing a lot of shit in like in the Marvel shit that's kind of just like, this is fucking bullshit. This is fucking bullshit. And
You don't believe there's a city called Wakanda?
no, Wakanda's real.
Okay.
I believe Wakanda's real. But I mean,
Tulakan too. Tulakan.
none of
That's
you got.
Wakanda, the next one.
Well, at least you're not invited.
Damn.
But us Mexicans, Sarah, are you kind of Mexican?
Huh?
You look kind of Mexican.
I do look kind of Mexican,
But you're not?
I'm kind of Italian and French.
Oh, well, you're
Yeah,
black.
Close enough.
From what I understand,
Sicilians.
I just heard about this recently that Italians are basically black.
Yeah.
Just the Sicilians.
I think
Is it just the
Just
Sicilians?
the Sicilians, yeah.
I've heard that before. I heard that in, I think, True Romance. They were talking about that.
That's my whole history, cultural references, True Romance.
Well, tell me about it,
Written
because
by
I've never
Tarantino.
seen that. I've never seen anything that y'all have been talking about, by the
That
way.
was
I'm a
Tarantino's
different
first
generation.
script.
Yeah.
That was Tarantino's first movie that he didn't direct. He wrote that
Mm.
shit.
It's a great movie.
Tino.
So can I know about it, or are we just going to bypass that?
I'll
Okay.
tell it if you want to know
No,
about it.
no. I don't want to know. What I do want to know is who's going to win on this third hand of blackjack.
Oh, I don't know, man. Let's do it.
There we go.
Put on that smooth shit.
Put on
See
that
if my-
smooth.
oh, there we go.
Damn, man.
And your first card is a 2.
Fuck. 9. Give me a 9.
Your second card is a 5. So it's not
Okay.
it's not crazy bad.
That's horrible. Face, probably.
The 7.
I
Oh,
knew
yeah,
it was gonna
you
be
know.
a face.
You shuffled them,
That's
though.
fucked. I'm gonna have to stick. I'll stick with that. We'll see.
You're going to stick
I'm
with
gonna
a
wait for
7?
What is
It's
wrong with
17,
you?
right?
No. You just have 7.
Oh no,
That's
I
my
thought, well,
queen.
okay, yeah, hit me again. Sorry.
That second
PhD.
shot got to him.
Shit.
I'll just stay with 7. Now you got
now
17.
I'll stick. Yeah,
You're
you'll
going to
probably
stay there.
Yeah,
All right, cool.
I'm sure you see.
I got a 5.
Oh, you're fucked.
No, he's not.
And I got an ace, so I got 16.
Oh, he's got to
When's
go.
the house has got to stick on what?
The house is mine, so I can do whatever
Oh,
the fuck I want to do.
okay.
But
Damn.
however, if you're in Vegas, a soft 17 is usually where they're going to stop. But me, I bust regardless.
Oh, you busted.
Winner,
it's
All this
2-1.
busting is making Marcus excited.
I love how
Yeah. You love what? 2-on-1?
no, I just love that you keep calling him Marcus.
Yeah. That's what I like.
He's
That's what I call
Cajun.
him.
He's
I'm Cajun,
It's
man.
not his fault.
Oh, see, but y'all would be like Marcos.
Marcos.
Yeah. I'm not. I haven't gotten that. You know, we just now started spelling Marcus's name right. We've been spelling it wrong, and Marcus is so cool. He was like, finally, after like months of working with him.
I asked him, I said, is it Marcus or Marcos? And he's like, it's Marcos.
Yeah.
This was months later.
It's small steps. You know, it's small steps with our dumbasses.
But
right?
and
So-
he, even though he told us how to pronounce it, we still
he finally, after months of working with him in a creative capacity, and it's just fantastic. It's finally he's like, hey, bro, it's Marcos.
Yeah. No, I heard you saying it like for like the whole time you were here before the show started. I'm like, I'm gonna wait to address this a little bit.
What a dick, man.
Man, keep fucking rubbing that Marcus in his face.
Now I'm just gonna say Marcus because just to be a dick, I think, moving forward. So
I answer to all kinds of shit. By the way. Like,
yeah, lately you've probably been answering it much worse. So
don't even.
I can't wait to get into that. Once we're able to go that direction, it's gonna be fucking great.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Yeah.
what are you guys working on right now?
Oh man, we're really excited, dude. One thing I'll say about us is we just have a lot of projects, man. We have like the band, the Immortals, who's always playing, and then our film team is we're finishing up a film called The Basic Witch, and then we're also filming up, which is like a 10-minute short, you know, and then we're also finishing up a bigger film that we filmed the principal photography finished last spring called The Black Quarry, and then we're
The Black Quarry? Is
The
it
Black
about
Quarry.
Not the Black
Black
Quarry.
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 That was a running
Quarry.
joke on
Okay.
the whole production. Though.
Okay.
It was a whole thing, yeah. Black Quarry. I don't know. Is that going to get me canceled? Probably.
No.
I have to wash myself now.
Yeah, you're
We've
fine.
said much worse on this
You're
show.
fine.
Trust me. Trust me.
No, hey, hold on. Let's stop there.
Let me tell you everything.
We got a white and an Italian here. You never know what they might say.
Wait.
Right. So we have these 2 films. We have filming coming up for a bunch of stuff in the spring. I mean, the production company and the film company is just hitting, man.
Yeah.
We're growing. Our film team tripled. And we have
That's
a bunch of
fucking dope.
professional people on. We have Marcos, you know.
Ooh. Yeah. Give us some more than that. That was nice. That was nice,
Yeah,
man.
Marcus and
It's a lot easier to say.
Corey,
right?
how do you say San Marcos? Do you say San Marcos?
I said San Marcus.
Yeah, that's just how he says it.
That's he's
Yeah.
Cajun. It
It's
sounds
nothing
fun.
personal, man.
No.
It might be a little personal.
It's a little personal at this point.
At this point, I know it's personal.
It wasn't
I
personal
admit
until you
it.
corrected me, motherfucker. And now it's personal.
Now it's personal.
I'm all for it.
I used to have a button, by the way, that said "fuck you, Marcos." We'll have it on the next show. Don't worry. But it was like a triggered sound effect.
Dang, man. Oh,
No,
man.
he almost had it. I could have been hitting the
That's
fuck out
really
of that button right now.
disappointing. That's really disappointing.
Hey, fuck
Bummer.
you, Drew.
You have to
Heavy.
invite us back to do for the fuck you, Marcus.
Nah, I don't
Definitely.
know. About, no, I'm just joking.
Damn.
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 Can't have nothing
There we go.
in here.
I've had some whiskey.
He's wild.
Oh man, no, I really felt bad when you guys got here because I was just like, I was in an existential crisis with all my fucking electronics over there, and I'm just like, man, I'm a horrible host right now.
We were entertaining ourselves.
We're used to that.
No,
Max.
y'all were having a fucking blast.
Yeah.
So what's up with you guys?
I can't hear anymore.
I think Corey's over there
There we
stepping
go.
on your.
No, I'm not
Get off
stepping
my
on
cord,
shit,
bitch.
man.
Stop stepping on her nuts, man.
So
we
what's
have
up with
we
you
have a
guys?
good team, you know. Like we have a big creative team, and Sarah usually Sarah is the singer of our band, The Immortals,
Oh, nice.
and so we have a pop punk band called The Immortals, where we're vampires and she's a witch, and I would say probably so that's a big creative outlet, a big project. You know, that band's been doing great. It's on Spotify. You can go find our stuff, and then we have some killer videos and shit. We're like a very theatrical
I
band.
think he means how we met and all that, like
Yeah.
what's up with us.
Yeah.
So we met because his partner that owns the other haunt and out in West Texas, out in Lubbock, was my old boss when I used to work in radio. And my old boss
Shout
kept
out to
telling
Wes,
me,
by the way.
Yeah, Wes
Shout out to
Nissen.
Wes.
Wes.
Wes kept telling me.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
She knows Wes?
Yeah.
No,
he's
not
my-
Wes. Wes
Oh.
Nessman.
Oh, different Wes.
Oh, different
He
Wes.
was
Oh.
he was the rock radio show host on the biggest
FMX.
rock station.
Oh, this is
FMX,
some Lubbock shit.
94.5.
Okay,
Some Lubbock
my
shit.
bad, my
Some real
bad.
Lubbock
DJ out
shit.
there. He's probably clip this out, Wes. Clip this out and tell everybody that we shouted you out.
We're shouting out Wes and FMX.
Nightmare on 19th.
Well, Wes suggested I befriend Corey because they were going to break grounds and start a haunt out here in Austin, which I was super interested in. So I think friend requested the Bat City Scaregrounds account, and then I was supposed to maybe do makeup for the park for, you know, all the spooky actors. I was going to be a makeup artist, but one thing led to another, and then I started doing interviews for we would interview different people in the horror community, and then that led to me developing my horror host character, Scara, Damsel of the Doomed. And then that led to a show that we did called Tub of Terror, where I would do movie reviews in my bathtub. It was,
Nice.
You couldn't see anything. It was all bubbles, you know.
Yeah.
And then
Oh, we saw. Oh,
you saw nothing. So we did that for a while. And then we were upgrading our equipment and whatever, which led to us messing around with the camera one day and just filming footage of me and my character walking around with the candelabra and Corey's haunt in one of the scenes. And the
What's a
footage looked,
candelabra?
it's, you know, a little candlestick with a 3.
Oh, okay. Got it.
So I'm walking around like that, all spooky, and the footage looked so cool. It inspired Corey, like, well, right away to write the script for the first short we did, which was called "The Witch's Bargain," which is out in film festivals right now. And so we did that. It's in film festivals. It's doing well. And
really
then
well.
we
Really well. She's being modest. Like, how many laurels are there on that shit now?
We have it's 50. We've won 50 international film festival for horror. You know,
Damn, that's
so-
fucking lit.
Yeah, it did well. It's really, you know, for our first film, we're all really proud of it. You know, it's cinematically really nice. I mean, we have some excellent people working with us, and along,
Let's shout out some of the people real
yeah,
quick.
for sure.
So on the Horror Web production team and the people behind all of the art, we have first and foremost Kayla Stojek. She is with Zombie Peep Show is her main gig. She is an artist that creates shoes and jackets and hats and all sorts of stuff, but she's also turned out to be amazing at production, set production for The Haunt and for the movies.
Assistant director.
And is the AD on both of our films that we have out right now. And no, the one that we have right now and the ones that are about to be released on all of them, actually. So that's Kayla. We have
just a phenomenal all around 360 artist, And
she's tremendous and really is the just up there in the top of the company, I would say.
upper echelon, for sure.
She's like the wild artist with the fountain of creativity just like springing out of her head, man. That
Marcos, you can always just take your camera solo too.
I like this where we can see everybody's
it's
reaction,
like,
especially yours when you start talking shit to me.
No, because when you start talking, I just have like a horrible face.
That's why I love it, dude.
yeah.
The super
He's just looking at you, Mad Dog,
It's
just like,
just like, God damn.
Shoulda
shut
never
the
gave me a
fuck
mic.
up."
this bitch
No.
again.
Sarah understands the essence.
Yeah, I've seen that face before.
Goodness.
I've made that face.
You know what? And I definitely understand what they do, but I want to hear other people that are in the industry. What do you guys feel an AD does, an assistant director does?
When I step into the role, so you have definitely what you can look up and Google what's an 81, what's an 82.
Oh, of course.
What we do on set is kind of different. When I take in the role, I took on a lot of the duties of, okay, I'm going to make the call sheets. I'm going to figure out people get where they need to go. I'm going to figure out where the hospitals are, what time lunch is. I'm going to make sure we know what the weather is. I'm trying to make sure the production goes as smoothly as possible for the day of. I also did a lot of script supervising that kind of went in under that same umbrella. Right. Kayla had a different role, and she was more, she would watch the monitor and she would make suggestions creatively on set, and she took the role that way. So I was kind of very logistics based. I also, I have input creatively as well, but Kayla's definitely a creative input on the films.
Yeah, very valuable, because I'm not the kind of director that likes to sit in front of the monitor. I feel better if I'm closer to the scene. And so having someone, an artist behind, because the artistry of the film to me is the most important aspect of it. Being a musician my whole life, I've seen a lot of poorly produced music do really well because it just connected to people at an artistic level, you know? And so, the artistry is very important in the things we do, and Kayla being such a fantastic artist, having her there watching the monitor and making sure that the product is there at an artistic level is definitely like instrumental to what we're doing. And then of course Sarah being the logistically making sure and helping and facilitating all our actors and the dialogue and that kind of thing. And then they always kind of cross the streams a little bit.
Oh yeah, we all work together very well. I think
we're a good team.
It's a little of this and a little of that for everyone.
Yeah.
Now, one thing you mentioned whenever you were talking about the requirements of being an AD that I've never thought about even when I was an AD is knowing where the hospitals are at. It's a
good thing to put on the call sheet.
Yeah, that's probably the best thing.
It's not something you want to like Google while in the moment, and especially the kind of stuff we film. You might.
That's a good point. I always think about like if I was, let's say I had a heart attack. I have no idea where the hospital's at right now. Seriously.
They would find it,
The good thing is you can ask, Siri's a good AD because you could just ask your phone and it'll tell you the nearest
hospital.
Problem is
sometimes we're out in the middle of the fucking
But if you don't have
woods,
service or whatever, it's good to know.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
So there was this question that was preempted to me the other day. Would you rather go back in time, right? You're going back in time. Would you rather go back, let's say, to 5 years old? Would you rather go back to 5 years old with all the memories that you have now, or your phone with all the connections that are in there to today's time?
Oh, shit.
Wait, I don't get the question. The second part.
So
everything on your phone is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
You have everything there, minus the internet, I guess. I'm guessing.
I think it's an easy answer, honestly. Go ahead, though. Explain it to her.
And you could take all that information back to when you're 5.
Yes. With your phone. Like, you'll have your phone.
Okay.
But you have no memories of the people that you on the contacts and shit.
Uh-huh.
You
Okay,
have-
wait, but do you have everything you've looked up or everything that's available to the internet today?
That's
Just
what I
shit
don't
that you
know. Let's say you have the internet of today and you take it back and you have it on your phone.
Your contacts and all that, yeah.
But it's like, what would you even look up? Like at that point, it's like, okay, it's like today Elon Musk took over Twitter for $400 billion. First off, what is Twitter?
I think it was 40.
And
Oh,
what
you're
kind of
not-
name is
you're
Elon?
You're talking about just knowing. Okay, I
This
thought
is a
at
Back
first-
to the Future question.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's more
like
like hot tub
That's
time
what
Sports
he said.
machine.
almanacs.
It's hot tub
Yeah,
time
sport,
machine.
it's a
That's how I
sports
like to look at
almanac
it.
situation is what it is.
It
Yes.
takes over
Yeah.
fucking Hill
Yes.
Valley.
Yeah.
Because if you
I
can
want
look
the phone. That's my answer.
Okay, but that's odd
Why?
because you're not gonna be in the top. Well, I guess you could
You'll
look
grow
up
up.
the.
You grow
You
up,
could look
man.
at the past fucking sports scores.
Yes.
I wouldn't
You
want the
could-
phone, man. I wouldn't want it.
I would.
I don't
I'd be a
think
rich
so.
bitch.
I think if I went
Rich.
back with my memories, I'd be rich.
What memories?
The memories that I have right now, if I went back to 5 years old and had what I have right now, like internally,
Yeah.
and went back to 5, I'd be good. I don't need to have the contacts. I think I would figure
But
it out from
you're
there.
saying you could still have the internet too.
If you take your phone,
Yeah.
but you have no memories of
your-
your
of
So
the
you
today.
don't
people
know
on the phone.
You
so
don't know what to
fuck
look
them.
up. You don't know what to look up.
It would be
but
like a
you have-
magic thing. I think you would figure it out though.
Eventually,
You would
for
start,
sure.
but you're not at 5. Later on in life, you'd figure it out maybe.
But you don't have much time.
How long are you gonna have?
Well, I mean, until present day.
Okay, that's lots of years.
Well,
Old.
well, yeah, I was about to say you guys may have a little bit
You
more than
shut
I.
it.
I don't know. I'm running out of time myself, my friend.
His
Yeah.
birthday's tomorrow.
Oh,
Happy
fucking
birthday!
Yeah.
happy early birthday, brother! How old are you gonna be?
46.
Nice,
46.
nice.
Yeah.
Uh,
46.
what would you say to the 23-year-old version of yourself right now?
Oh man, what would I fucking say? Probably a lot of personal shit. Shit.
What was your life at 23 like?
It was different, you know. I mean, I've always been a musician, so that's definitely something that, you know, when you're a musician throughout your life, there are times when your band breaks up and shit, and you're like, should I just fucking pawn all this shit? Am I just done with this shit, you know? So, I mean, I never did, which was a good thing, but what would I say? And I was in graduate school at the time. I don't really know that I would say much, man. Sorry, that's really boring, but it's like, keep chugging along, brother.
No,
you
that's,
know?
that's actually great because you were in graduate school to be a quantum physicist.
And I was playing in a rock band, dude. I was
What
having a
made
great
you go
time.
into quantum science? Like, what even like sparked that back then? There were no Marvel movies.
No, I was dating a girl in college, and she gave me a book by Mikhail Kakiu. I believe that's the way you pronounce it. Kakiu. And he sort of had this really great book.
Michio
that's-
Kaku.
Yeah, that's right.
Shut the fuck up, Marcus.
That's his name.
That's
you
right.
motherfucker.
Shut
It's
up,
called
Marcus.
Michio Kaku.
Shut up, Marcus. It's Mikio Kakinyu. That's the pronunciation.
It's me put my cock in you.
She gave me this great book called Me Put My Cock in
You're
You.
cocking me.
Oh,
Another day, another dick.
That's right.
what are you gonna do?
You're gonna have a sequel to his book, and that's what it's gonna be called, right?
Another day, another dick.
Oh, anyways,
And he
sorry.
talks about like ghost and shit. I mean, he was a physicist and he broke it down for the layman, quantum physics. But he talked about ghost and how, you know, these hyperdimensional space, and that was how you could interpret ghosts as just beings travel through hyperdimensional space. And my mind was fucking blown. I was reading this book, and I was like 20 years old, 19. I'm like, holy fucking shit! Like, this shit's wild, man. This is real. This is real grown-ups. Real scientists talking about explanations for fucking
Theorizing, though,
ghosts.
right?
Yeah, theorizing, of course, yeah. About these types of explanations. I'm like, dope, man. This is a shit that I want to fucking do. Like, I want to fucking theorize about this kind of shit. Like, you know.
But I mean, obviously, you've done well for yourself. in your life. But what type of job does a quantum physicist get?
Yeah, well, that's why earlier I said this is the type of scientist I am, and this is what
Right.
I do.
Yeah.
So if you have a PhD in quantum physicist, you're usually pretty fucking math savvy, and you're usually pretty computer savvy.
Right.
So you have those skills, and so you're pretty good at solving math problems on a computer, and everybody needs that shit. And that's the class that I teach at UT is a computational engineering class.
UT fucking teacher, man.
Yeah, so-
with that.
But that's one of his jobs, though.
No.
We got another play, another
That's
hand.
the one fucking job I want to talk about. All right, we're going to the fourth hand. You ready, Marcos?
No.
Of course not. Of course not. What was I thinking?
No,
We're just running. Just give me the goddamn music.
You know what? You told me let it keep playing, and it stopped.
Give me the other music, please.
The other one?
Yeah, it's on the folder right there. The folder's open.
God.
No,
What
let
the
that
fuck are
play.
you doing, man? What kind of shit is that you just played?
Oh yeah,
Oh yeah.
this is what we're
Oh
doing.
yeah, baby. Give it to me.
Turn down just a little bit, Marcos.
Give it to me, Marcus.
All right, give it to me, Marcus.
Don't threaten.
Give it to me, Marcus.
Don't threaten me with a good time.
Are you in yet?
Let me thrust a little.
Should
Please
I make animal noises, Marcus?
Definitely.
Definitely.
What's your best animal noise?
Probably a pig.
Do it. Do it. Oh,
I mean,
Pretty
dang, dude. I think
There it
we
is.
everyone just got a chub over here.
yeah. Your first card is
You're
a
gonna
3.
give me a fucking 3, man.
I'm
Are you
trying
ever
to-
gonna give me a face card to start
He
off
asked
with?
for
No.
at least a 9.
I'll give you a
Ew.
5, so you got 8, and I'm showing a 5.
All right, hit me, yeah, for sure. Hit me.
And you got a 7, so you're looking at 15.
Oh, shit. And there's no face card showing.
Not yet.
Oh, shit. That's
15.
You got a hit. Yeah, I got a hit. Let's play it.
So I'll just say,
You gonna have recommendation?
I'll just say,
All right.
in a casino,
You'd stay.
you'd stay.
Yeah. But I'm not no bitch.
Oh my god.
I feel that. I feel that to the maximum.
Yeah.
So you're hitting?
And I got some money to blow, so let's throw it. Yeah.
Let's fucking throw it.
Yeah.
And it's a 9, so you bust.
Fuck.
So I'm gonna
you,
show.
Marcus.
Usually I don't show. I'm a grower, not a shower.
Let's see it.
And so I
see,
would
you
have
probably
had
would've.
16.
So
You had
disappointed.
15.
Hit it again though. Let's see what
In
you
a
hit again.
casino, I would have had to hit on that.
You would have
would
beat
you
me then.
Yeah, I would have stayed on that here in my house.
And you would have won. No
Yeah, and
more.
I would have won. But in a casino setting, I would have got a 9, so I would have had 15 as well.
Oh shit.
And then I got a
You
4. I
won. You would have won no matter what. Yeah. So it's 2 for 2. Neck and neck.
2 to 2, going to the fucking final countdown. So Rick and Morty. Do you actually like that show? Like, do you?
I
Actually
love
watch
Rick and Morty. Absolutely. Yeah.
it? Have you seen any of the new season?
I think so.
Dude, I just watched the 2 newest episodes, and oh my god, like, so right before they went to break, I saw a Rick and Morty episode that really pissed me off, and I can't even remember what it was about, but it was just it was very like into, popular culture, and they started like kind of making excuses for themselves, but it all led up to them coming back and being like, oh, "Fuck y'all," and I love that.
Yeah.
about 'em.
Yeah. Inevitably, they're fucking with themselves.
Yeah.
Too. Yeah.
So do you feel like that there is like parallel universes?
Yeah. Well, it's certainly one interpretation of things.
Is it your interpretation?
Yeah. I think so. I mean, I do think that. Yeah. I mean, it really comes down to things like, well, the underlying structure of reality, and if there are parallel universes, there's an infinite number. Essentially, every decision and every action you make, there's a parallel universe where you made the other action.
100%.
So there's just like this infinite number of parallel universes that exist in this hyperspace, extra-dimensional situation. So, it's fun to think about for sure. And do I believe it? It's, as a scientist, belief can be difficult. I guess, it's I have a very agnostic kind of mental, and so it's really hard for me to say that I believe in anything, honestly. But there are things that I feel, like maybe maybe that could be a probable thing. And I do feel like that could be something that's probable, but I don't really know how that benefits fucking anybody.
Yeah.
Honestly, you
Right.
know, like
No, yeah. Unless
what does
you
it
could-
matter if there's a million copies of you? What are you going
Unless
to do
you
with
could
that?
jump. Unless
Yeah.
you could jump. That's the only way it would benefit.
You can't really be spiritual about that, or you can't tie that into.
Does the agnostic point of it carry into the rest of your life as far as like religion? and shit like
Yeah,
that?
absolutely. Yeah. So I
Was
mean,
that prior to you being a scientist?
No, actually, I grew up in a Cajun Catholic environment, and so and my family is
Which
still
pushed
Cajun
you
Catholic.
to agnostic. Yeah, understood.
Yeah, right.
You
Yeah,
grew up Catholic, but you never were Catholic.
yeah.
really.
I mean, I did
You
my
never believed.
communion and
But I
all
mean,
of that. and
did you
stuff.
ever believe?
When I was a kid, you just kind of believe what your parents believe,
Yeah.
But when you start to mature and understand that you're a product of your environment, if you're smart enough, you can get to that point at a pretty early age.
What pushed you out of Catholicism? It
I-
wasn't the priest, was it?
No, it was not. Yeah.
Good.
No, I like that, but it was the. That almost kept me in that shit. I was like, "Fuck, there may be something to this shit after all." Give me some communion. Give me some of that bread. That breadstick.
God.
It was more like a baguette. Am I right?
Give me some of that holy baguette.
Ooh, jeez.
No, I think college.
The body of
I-
Christ
I
compels
think just
you.
maturity.
Oh, you're all going to hell.
Oh, dude.
Not compels you.
Yeah.
Oh man.
You see what I did there?
I did.
Oh, yeah, let's watch it again.
I wish I didn't, but I did. I saw it.
That's right. Man.
Who's going to take the lead now?
Well, he was in the middle of a story.
I was just saying, I think just maturity of thought, in the sense that you start to get old enough to where you start to really become introspective. And you start to leave your environment and getting away from home and getting away from, that environment and just sort of being on my own, an independent thinker and young man. And you start to become introspective and start to question, do I really believe this shit? What is really going on here? And then I also had a couple really good courses,
Oh, that's where we were.
Yeah, the
That's
courses were really helpful, like history of Christianity and Judaism in college. It sort of opened my mind, like, damn,
What
man,
are your thoughts on like the Jews? no, I'm joking.
Can we not do that? Kanye. You know what I mean?
I'm joking.
Easy.
I'm joking.
The Jews.
Okay, Kanye.
Hey,
The last Jew episode got blocked.
you can just see the
Oh,
fucking
yeah. Be
fear
careful.
of
Yeah,
fucking
it just washes over you.
fear of God, Jew God in
It's
my
like
eyes.
the split sea of Moses. It's just
Like the Indiana Jones movie where they open the Ark of the Covenant and everybody
Was Indiana
You said
Jones
the
a
dark.
Jew?
And no, they found the Ark of the Covenant that Moses was carrying around the tablets of the fucking Ten Commandments in, and the Nazis
Was
got
that
it.
in? See, I haven't watched any.
It's
Indiana
what
Jones
they.
movies.
It's what's
Dope.
in the Ark of the Covenant. They open
Yeah.
it at the end. Spoilers.
Faces,
and then everybody
face
melts.
melts.
Like
Yeah.
that was one of the worst special effects, by the way, ever.
But
like,
at the
revisiting
time, it was dope.
it. At the time,
The
it was dope.
poltergeist scene is very similar. The guy rips his
Well,
face
yeah, he's
off,
shaving his face and,
and
shit.
that scared the shit out of me when I was a kid. But when you watch it now, it looks so cheesy.
No, it's so bad. It's so bad. It's like Chocolate Chip Charlie's neck splitting open, and then it cuts, and then it's like a fake ass paper mache head like falling off. Awful. Welcome back to the show.
Awful.
Chocolate Chip Charlie.
Yeah, so the Jews.
Yeah.
No.
So Indiana Jones was a Jew.
No, he wasn't.
No, not him.
Well, so he was the antagonist.
Indiana
No.
Jones.
He was the white savior.
Damn.
He was the white savior. He saved the fucking Jewish religion.
With all that, hold on, we'll back off from it. We'll back off from it because you know what we're gonna do?
What?
We're gonna go to the fifth and fucking final hand of blackjack.
Oh, this is the
This is
one,
the final
one,
countdown.
Yeah,
this is the one that counts.
Yeah.
All the others were just practice.
We gotta get smooth on because I'm starting to stress out. Stress
Last
here.
one. Here we go.
All right, give me a face. Give me a face.
First card is a 7.
shit. All right.
Your second card is another 7. There's no splitting here,
That's-
so you got 14,
Horrible.
and I got a 9.
Oh man. That's hit. This is for it. This is for the gold, baby. Going for the gold. I lost.
You lost, man.
Could have stayed.
You would have busted. Yeah, okay. So that was the bad decision. That broke me.
That broke you.
Good game.
It was a good game,
Yeah.
Corey.
Absolutely.
So before we start to wrap this thing up,
Coffany.
are you a current UT professor?
In the fall, I am. Yeah. So normally I'm a Department of Defense scientist, but
Okay, now we're getting.
But in the fall, I do teach at UT. Mm-hmm.
A DOD scientist?
Yeah, I'm a Department of government scientist that works for the Department of Defense. Mm-hmm.
What's your thoughts on COVID?
Now we're getting canceled. Now it's over.
I won't make you go there. What does that entail, though?
Well, a lot of what I do is I write computer models to do, to model big disasters like hurricanes and like earthquakes
Pandemics.
and I can, yeah, for sure. Tsunamis, like that kind of stuff. I turn the math into the models so that engineers can run these big simulations and do predictive, big giant natural disaster predictions. So
Right.
that's sort of the job that I do when I'm not doing quantum stuff, which I also do a little bit of that for the government that I can't really talk about.
What are your thoughts of all the volcanoes erupting?
I think it's all the slime, the evil slime that's sort of traveling underneath the
Ghostbusters.
it's like coming from all our hatred over political hatred.
Vigo the Carpathian.
Yeah.
The sorrow of Moldavia, that
I
sort
hate
of
that
thing.
you can't tell me the real of these fucking volcanoes. Literally just because there is a. Would you agree that there is a lot of? I hate that. Anyways, would you agree that there is a lot of the Book of Revelations that are actually coming true?
Oh, okay.
Because we're
Let's see,
supposed to
so
end in fire.
Yeah. Well, honestly, you think we'll end in fire, and you think the volcanoes are going to be the fire that ends us? Okay.
Absolutely not.
Okay, you think the fire will be nuclear war from
Yeah,
World War III?
That's what I think.
I mean,
logistically.
I think the most there's a doomsday clock, right? And that's invented by a physicist, and it's basically the fact that sooner or later civilization is meant to kill ourselves, and that's just really what it is. It's a really depressing, hopeless sort of clock. That's right. But I mean, if you think that, you could totally retrofit anything. Nostradamus, you could you could retrofit his shit into it. Revelations. Probably a lot of apocalyptic religions probably have fire or water because of the melting of the ice age.
Has there been anything that you've written out to scale to that kind of scared the shit out of you?
No, not for me. No, that's not true. I will say that we have a really big freshwater problem on Earth. There's just too many motherfuckers, and we just don't have the fresh water, and it's going away.
And it's about to become a commodity to these fucking investors and shit.
Yeah.
The Bush is own South American shit that's freshwater reserves, and that's their whole investment of the family.
It's gonna be Mad Max.
Oh, on that note,
Well, even no.
Somebody didn't like your Bush comment.
Eddie hit the fucking limit. It's $20 now.
Yeah.
over
oh,
that shit.
We're fucking taking another
He
shot.
says Marcos.
Give us some music, Marcos. I'll read the goddamn
Show
comments.
us your
Just
left
play the
nipple.
goddamn music.
We need to see your left nipple.
No.
No, he hasn't hit that limit.
But before we, because that is super scary because it's okay, prime example, and this is fucking crazy. I literally gave you my last 2 bottles of water.
Oh man,
I haven't gone to the
your
store.
sacrifice, like Creed
I haven't,
and shit.
but yeah, it's
Come down off
very
your water cross.
Creed-esque. But
Water cross.
imagine there's fucking Elon Musk or whoever the fuck, Tim Cook, whoever you want to put as or Bill Gates, whoever you want to put in the millionaire status. Also Burry, who had predicted the housing crisis last time from The Big Short. But imagine those type of motherfuckers being in control of fresh water, to where you can no longer you can't procure this shit without going through them.
That's a fucking terrifying.
Yeah, absolutely
fact.
it is. Yeah.
Cheers to you. Cheers to Marcos. Cheers to Eddie.
Salute to fresh water.
To fresh water.
But that's a very scary reality.
To me, as far as the things that I do, that's probably one of the scary, more immediate, frightening natural disaster. Not It's not natural.
Climate.
Unnatural, but anyway. So that's that.
You're afraid of climate change, Sarah?
Yeah, climate change has
More-
an impact on the freshwater stuff.
But more than
Man-made climate change.
what do you think is so man-made about this?
About climate change? Fracking is one. A good one.
What exactly is
Polluting
fracking?
and polluting our water sources.
I agree
Fracking's
with
when
that.
you go down in under the ground to the pipeline source. Like you drill directly.
It's hard to answer, right?
It's hard to answer with George Michael in my head.
Turn down the George Michael.
Turn that shit down.
Turn
Let's
it
get serious.
down. Turn it down. Tell us what fracking is, Sarah.
I want to say fracking is there's a location element. So if it's near anybody's actual land, that's not out in the middle of nowhere, instead of an oil field. But I want to say it's the way they go about the drill of it. It's not a pump, it's a drill down straight to the source. Instead of pumping it out, it's a different way of procuring the crude oil.
What do you think's so bad about it?
Well, I'm not an expert, but from what I've read,
Neither am I. I'm just.
It's what's spurring a lot of these little earthquakes that are going on. So anything that spurs an earthquake unnaturally, to me, is probably not a good idea. And what else is it doing? Is it causing the crude oil and whatnot to seep into the water sources?
It's probably causing the evil slime to flow.
Or the
with
evil
greater
slime to
velocity, too.
flow under the building,
Yeah.
The problem with fracking is that there's a lot of bush.
What? When I think fracking, I always think of Fraggle Rock. Like it's something that they would do on
fracking.
Fraggle Rock. I don't know if you guys know what the fuck
No,
I'm
I know
talking
what
about.
Fraggle Rock
You
is.
do?
Yeah.
They were destroying the earth from the inside. Yeah.
The Fraggles.
But
But what are you
he has
talking
to-
about? You're talking about bush?
Yeah.
Like
Take
mother
it,
fracker?
take it how you
You
want.
mother fracker?
I think
Take
the problems come from like the politicization of it when they want to make rules for people.
Yes.
Like if you're going to force austerity on people with the threat of a gun and violence,
You can turn your mic up a little bit.
In the
Marco.
name of, I just got to turn towards it.
Yeah.
If you're going to use the threat of violence and imprisonment and all that stuff to enforce these laws or like destroying companies and shit without the replacement of energy sources, it becomes a problem because we do have to maintain a certain amount of like population.
Yeah.
Like we got to take care of the people that are here. And if you're going to use the threat of a gun and imprisonment to like tell people to stop making smoke and fucking, making energy and things like that, it starts to become a problem. I'm talking about authoritarianism.
Talking about government intervention
enforcement
without
with violence.
but you're only talking about government intervention and things like that without alternatives.
Yeah, there has to be an alternative. If
Yeah.
you're gonna like replace something and enforce it later and say everyone has to do this or we're gonna punish you, there has to be a legitimate one-to-one replacement. It can't just be straight up, we're just gonna enforce a new thing that's unproven and wastes money and we don't know if it works yet, but we're gonna threaten you with imprisonment and we're gonna destroy your ability to like make money or make a business or take care of your family. That's when it becomes a problem. But I do think we need to clean this shit up. This earth is nasty. It's filthy.
No,
Y'all been
the
fucking
biggest-
this shit up.
The biggest thing that I agree with from what Sarah said is that the pollution of our water and literally the pollution that we're putting out, like really plastics is the biggest thing that is so fucking terrible. Like there are some like unborn fetuses still inside of women that have plastic like flowing through their bodies, like microplastics.
Whoa.
Yeah, it's just because of how much people consume, and I mean it's also a demographic of like
I saw
where
a
you live
statistic
and shit like that.
recently. I saw a statistic, and it kind of blew my mind. But it actually was a person that was arguing against American policies for trash. And part of what I do is model trash. In the ocean, in the Pacific or whatever. But they were talking about how 80% of and I don't have any verifiable. This is just a statistic that I saw. But they said that 80% of the trash in the ocean actually comes from China. and it's not an American and not an American. Now, like I said,
Not saying that we don't contribute.
well, any amount is bad, but and also, I didn't go follow that. It was just kind of a thing, and I was just like, was in the middle of taking a break from
They
work.
were also given amnesty in the UN regulations of this shit.
Yeah, they don't have the same regulations.
Yeah, the Chinese government was allowed a certain amount of pollution that no one else was held accountable to, and they were like the biggest producers, like you were saying, but they were like. In the was it the climate accords in whatever, they were allowed until 2050 or something like that to pollute at the same level that we were, and we were supposed to carry the weight of that.
Well, I tell you what, I was on the California-Mexico border, like right at Tijuana, like where the shit.
You see a donkey show?
No, because what I've
The
heard,
trash in the ocean. You didn't see it?
the trash in the ocean really just like stops all the donkey shows. No,
Damn.
no. The problem with the donkey shows is they're like up in the hills, and it's like it gets dangerous the more
it's
deep
like
you go into.
hillbillies up
Yeah,
there. Okay.
right. Hillbillies with guns and no give a fuck
And cannabis.
So, yeah. So no, I never saw a donkey show. I would go see one. I know I would hate it. Like it
But
sounds,
you would watch it?
Oh, of course.
I think I would.
I
too.
mean, a donkey show in Tijuana is like a rite of
You
passage.
got to do it. Yeah.
Like you
Boys
have to
Town.
go. Yeah,
In Texas, it was Boys Town.
I've heard of Boys Town. I don't even understand where it's at, but I do understand how.
At least it used to be when I was growing up. It was Boys Town. You go to Boys Town, you watch a donkey show, you become a man.
In Texas,
That's not true at all. But
in Texas.
I'm the
No.
farthest thing from a man. We were just talking about that, but so I wouldn't know. But in Texas, Boys Town was
Going back to where we were at, I saw like there's like a canal, a man-made canal between California and Tijuana, right? And the Mexicans just throw all their fucking trash in there, and when it rains, it basically washes out to sea.
Mm-hmm.
And just seeing that, and like I said, I mean, I would never say the U.S. isn't a contributor to this, but to see that so blatant, it's very disheartening to think that we could even continue on this route. You know what I mean?
Well, and you're talking about water. Now talk about space. Space is a whole nother motherfucking
Yes.
area. I mean, there's
so
shit.
much
We have so
space
much
trash
space
in our
trash.
atmosphere.
Oh yeah, that's a whole problem because where's that going?
So does being a quantum scientist within the DoD, I'll stop saying it like that, but is your main concern space or Earth?
So what's important to the Department of Defense, of course, is quantum encryption. So
Right,
that's a huge priority right now because they're it's not that they're unbreakable. It's just that if someone intercepts the message, then on the other end that they did.
Right.
So that's the key. That's like the interesting thing about quantum encryption, and it's a pretty mature field, and it's being used. People are using quantum encryption. Like Chinese have a whole
Fuck yeah.
fiber optic quantum encryption network running through to their major cities right now, and so. With quantum encryption, dude, nothing's fucking and quantum encryption breaking, nothing's fucking safe, dude. So all this Bitcoin bullshit,
Yeah.
you're fucked.
Yeah.
If you can get an efficient quantum encryption breaker, you're done.
Yeah. It's
And
all gone.
All any kind of encrypted anything, man. Banks, you're fucked. So everybody's on high fucking alert about quantum encryption right now because. If it's moving fast, and quantum computers are growing really fast, exponentially right now. IBM just had come out with like a 500 qubit system, and they're growing really fast. And
Is that ours?
yeah,
Okay.
it is. I mean, we don't really know what's going on. We kind of know what's going on in the
Yeah.
other countries, but we don't really. And that shit is scary, man. Because with those we have these standard classical encryption measures for our data. That's very important, and with a quantum computer, man, you're busting that shit. You're
From
out.
everything I've seen about Russia, as far as when it comes to like cyber hacking and shit, it seems like they have the upper hand.
I don't know much about Russia, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I don't. I don't know that they have an upper hand on quantum technologies. I think that if anybody is competible with the U.S., and this is just a very general statement, I don't really have any. I think it would be China. They have a very sophisticated scientific back, and they have the money. It's expensive, so they have the money and they have the technology and the scientists. They've always been pretty hip.
Let's say it was the World Cup.
Okay.
And it's U.S. versus China. There's nukes involved. And there's quantum encrypted computers. This soccer game is, the end-all be-all of soccer games.
It's a real soccer game?
Sure.
Okay, I'm getting in this universe right now.
Yeah.
So what's the question?
So it's U.S. versus China. It's the World Cup on like the third parallel. Like we've jumped a couple.
Okay.
But we each have nukes comparable to the amount that we have here in this parallel. There's also quantum computing and basically it would be in the third parallel. It would basically be like the U.S. going to war with China in this parallel.
So what does the World Cup have to do with that?
Nothing.
Are you saying it's the World Cup of...
I was trying to mask your DOD status, but if you want to fuck it up, go ahead.
Are you saying who would win?
Who's going to win?
Is this essentially where you're getting at?
Who's going to win?
Oh, yeah. I don't know. That's hard to predict, That would be a hard prediction.
USA all the way.
Yeah. I'd like to think that we would win, but... Honestly, the real sentiment there is that I hope we could come to some kind of agreement, because
of course.
that would be I think that the humanitarians would finally come up and be like, bros, what are we gonna do?
Bros.
What are we gonna do? Like, are we gonna sit here and destroy our planet and ourselves?
I totally agree with that. But do you believe in this parallel that we are in, that humanitarianism is gone to these politicians?
I think that to some degree, to be a politician, all politicians have some power trip going on. It's just a part of that, just a part of it. This is just my opinion, But is it completely gone? No, I think there are some politicians that are more humane than others, But I don't think inevitably when it comes to nuking another country and entering into sort of a mutually assured destruction situation, I don't think it would be, and I think at some point it would be out of the politicians' hands. I feel like it would come down to people who were getting nuked.
Yeah.
It was like, no, that motherfucker is going to come from my city.
Yeah.
And so what are we doing?
Right.
What are we doing, guys? Like, are we going to hit the button? Really?
Yeah.
And I'm like on the number 3 fucking city in America to hit on infrastructure and shit. Like, no. We're going to fight.
Where? Here in Austin?
Well, I'm just. It was just a hypothetical number,
right,
but
right,
I mean,
right.
it's pretty fucking high, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, they're gonna hit energy infrastructure and things, but it's pretty, I mean, Austin's a pretty big city in America.
LA and New York are like the prime targets, I would think.
Prime targets are petroleum
industries, and so it'd be Houston.
Yeah, there's definitely those aspects, and so.
There's like several.
You're gonna have an uprising, a lot like what's going on with China right now with their government mandates,
which is fucking nuts.
You never hear that shit, right? You never hear Chinese.
The last time there was protesters that bothered China, there was a mysterious virus that started killing off the protesters. Mm-hmm. I was in Hong Kong for that.
Yeah, there are hardcore ramifications for going against the government, and they're still doing it. Now imagine if their city was about to be nuked by America.
Right.
Do you think they're just going to sit across and let the politicians hit the fire button? Mm-hmm. I don't, So I like to think in a romantic view of the world that the people at some point would rise up and be like, no, we're not going to destroy our world and our cities.
Let's fucking hope so, Corey.
Yeah.
Corey, it's been a fucking pleasure,
absolutely.
bro. Sarah.
That was a really heavy ending.
It's been a pleasure as well. No.
Why end it on that? Let's do one more bonus hand.
Well, listen. Okay. We're about to end it.
I think everybody just left. They're like, this is sad as fuck, bro.
No. They love the destruction.
Oh my god.
Give a little bit of music, Marcos. Just a tad bit. Can I have a little bit?
There you go.
Corey, will you look into this camera and tell people where they can find you one last time?
All right, check it out. If you want to go check out our band, The Immortals, it's a horror pop punk band. We play all the time. We have some killer videos. We're on Spotify. We're on Apple Music. And you can go to our website. But mostly all our handles are The Immortals with a Z. So you can go to immortals.com, etc. You can go to our theme parks, nightmareon19th street.com. If you live in Lubbock or the West Texas area, New Mexico, Midland, Odessa. If you live around Austin, Buda, Kyle, In the surrounding areas, you can go to batcityscaregrounds.com and come see 15 Acres of Fear, baby. That's what we provide every October. We're here to fuck shit up. Also, stay tuned. We will have some killer products hopefully coming to Netflix and Amazon. Horror Web Productions Incorporated is a brand new film production company here in Austin, Texas. We are growing, and we are here to take the Austin horror film industry by storm. That's what we're ready to do.
And Sarah, look into your camera, please, and tell us where they can find you and all your gloriousness at.
On Instagram, it's Scara_Damsel of the Doomed. I'm also doing the Immortals thing with that one. And that's about it, really, for me.
Marcos, look at the camera.
Why?
Tell them how much of a bitch you are.
Marcus.
I'm not. Fuck you, Drew. I ain't no bitch.
Hey, yo, thank y'all for tuning in to 21 the podcast. We're about to go to break. This shit will not be on this shit ever again, so make sure y'all tune.
Yeah. This shit won't be on this shit. Ever a shit.
Again.
Ever a shit.
Ever a shit. So y'all need to tune in live. Right. If you're subscribed, thank you. If you're not, hit subscribe, hit that little bell, whatever the fuck that gives you a notification, tells you I am live, because we doing live shit. Other than that, all I want to tell you is fuck you.
21. You stupid.